Hello there, my name's Lisa. I'm from Imaginary Ordinary and I would like to show you how to make a pipe cleaner puppet today. So what you're going to need to make a pipe cleaner puppet is really simple. You're just going to need 3 pipe cleaners. You can choose any colour you like. I've chosen colours that will correspond to this one so that you can know exactly what part I'm making as I'm making each part. So the first thing that we're going to make is the head. So we can see that's that section here, the head and the arms. And do that using a pink pipe cleaner. So the first thing you do is loosely fold your pipe cleaner in half and then choose how big you want your head to be. Some people like to have a really big head and little arms. Some people like to have a tiny little head and really long arms. And I tend to go somewhere just in the middle. Ish. I tend to put them in proportion, but you can do them any way you like. Puppets, some puppets are designed to have heads bigger than the rest of their bodies, so you can choose to do it that way. So what you do is you just fold it in half, you make your head size, and then you just make a couple of little twists here in the neck. Just twist it a couple of times to secure it together, and then you've got your arms hanging down the side. Okay, so that's our head section. The next bit that we're going to make is the body. So we're going to take our body pipe cleaner, which is our blue one, and we're just going to fold that in half, directly in half. And then what you want to do is you're just going to make a little lip. So the best thing to do is just grip it between your finger and your thumb and turn up the very end of your pipe cleaner. Now that's your sealed end, that's the end that you've folded over. So that's your closed end. And we're just going to turn that up like that so we've got a little loop there. And that why we've got that is going to become apparent in a moment. Then we're going to do the legs. So again, we're just going to fold a pipe cleaner directly in half, like this. And then what we're going to do, take our body section, take our legs, and the loop that we've got at the end of our legs, so again our closed end, the end that we folded over, and the little lip that we've just made in our body, we're going to put the legs, the loop from the end of the legs over the end of the body section that we've made our little lip. So we're going to fold it over like that, and then we're going to take the open end of the end that we made our body, so the end that's not sealed, that's not closed, and we're going to feed those 2 pipe cleaners back through. I'm hoping you can see that, back through the hole. Oh, you might need to make the hole a little bit bigger, but back through the loop that we've made. So if you can see, what we're doing here is we're going to basically close it up. We're going to make a complete circle. Now the reason that we do it in that particular way, you might think, well, why don't you just half up the pipe cleaner and stick it straight through the middle, is that if we do it that way, the most thing that I find really important about puppets is about how they move. And what I particularly like about making pipe cleaner puppets in this particular way is that you end up with a hip joint, which is effectively more of a human hip joint than we might have otherwise. And what you can see here as well is that it won't go too far back, but it will go pretty far forward. And if you have a look at your own hips, unless you're really bendy, they don't tend to go too far back, but they do tend to come forward. So what we end up with is quite a nice normal kind of, well, I don't want to say normal actually, but movement that reflects the human body. But we know all human bodies are completely different. Okay, so we've got our head and we've got kind of our body and our legs here. The next thing we're going to do is, obviously our bodies don't kind of wiggle like that. So we're going to just twist all the way up our body section. And then we leave about an inch on either end there at the end. But again, you can have a short body or you can have a long body, it's up to you. You can choose however. I will show you at the end of this video some of the pictures of some of the pipe cleaner puppets that I've made with young people, and they are really diverse and really different, and their imagination how to make them is much better than mine. Next thing we do is we take our head and we're going to place our head on top of our body section like that. So just remember, we've got our legs facing this way and we've got our head placed and our arms placed in front of our body there with our two bits that we've left. And again, we're going to fold those over, so just crisscross them across the body, and then we're just going to, well, I've had people turn them into wings before, which I thought was great, But all I'm going to do is just fold them away, tuck them away under there so they're out of the way. And again, we do it in that order. So now what we've got is a bit of a nodding head. We've got a body that kind of moves a little bit like our head and shoulders would move. Okay, so basically that's it. There he is, or she is, whoever you like. Last thing you do is you might just turn up the toes like that, so they've got some toes. And you might also, sometimes people like to just turn up a little bit at the end, so they make themselves some little kind of hands or little mitts for the fingers. So that is our basic pipe cleaner puppet. And what you can do with this one is, what I find is really good, you can manipulate it just using it like this. So you can manipulate it by just doing the arms and using your hands to direct and move it. Oh look, looks like it's doing a bolt there, doesn't it? Yeah. What I find really nice about these is you can kind of secure them into a position. So you can put them into a particular position. Now he's being a boxer. Looks like he's about to have a fight with someone. And they move really nicely when you just give that very little bit of energy to them. They're really nice for those who perhaps have restricted movement, because they move so much with just a little bit of movement given to them. The other thing that you can do, and I've had young people do it by just using a pipe cleaner as well, or by using some rods that you can just pick up at a DIY store nice and easily, is make a head rod for them. So then you can control them from above. And there he is, looking for his fight there. Looking for his fight. Oh, here comes someone else. He's like, oh, no, please. Oh. But you can put them in any position and do whatever you like with them. And that's quite nice. If you've got long rods as well that you use on them, then you can have make a whole set and they can lean over the set. So now, once we've got that, our basic shape, we can go and extend this a little bit further. So we can make a jointed pipe cleaner puppet as well. So just, if we've made that, we may want to take that next step. And what you'll see on this jointed puppet basically, oh, is that way around, sorry, is that I've made him in these black and white colours so you can see. Basically, he's got joints, he's got knees. He's got knees and he's got elbows, okay? And it just means that you've got a slightly kind of wider range of movement and manipulation that you can do with this particular puppet. So what you can do is use metal rods on hands. So you can just take, you can use a hanger, use an old metal hanger, just make sure if you are a young person or whoever you are, actually, I cut myself to pieces making these sometimes, just make sure that you've got the right equipment and that you're safe to do so when you're kind of cutting the wire. But you can cut the wire, and what you can do is just using a little bit of sellotape, stick a little bit of a little elastic band on there, or a little hair band, and then you just wrap the little hair band or the elastic band around the wrist of the puppet. And then you can then manipulate them from a distance by using a rod that would effectively attach there like that. Or again, you can use pipe cleaner as well, but sometimes that might be a mistake, and some people like to make little accessories for them. So you might have a little pipe cleaner walking stick there or something like that, so they might want to use. So you can make them. So to do this, all you need to do is take our guy. Now come on you, we don't like all this boxing malarkey. I'm going to change you up a little bit. So our basic shape that we've already made, except I'm going to take away his hands and his feet, and what I'm going to do is just literally fold in half the arms and wrap away, again just wrap away, so that I make a little loop at the end of the joint there like that. So now that's going to be his elbow, and we do the same on the other side. Now you might want to, again, it's your choice around length that you want things to be. So if you would like longer, so we tend to have longer arms up here and shorter down here. You might want to have them the same. You might want to have really short arms at the top and really long arms at the bottom. It's up to you. But we're going to do that there. And then again, we just do the exact same with the leg. And again, the same principle applies. What length would you like it to be? Now, I find the best way to do these little hoops at the end is just to take take that bit in your finger and your thumb, and then you're just securing it, you're just holding it, so that's not going to close if you hold it quite tightly, and then you just twist the rest, and you can even give a couple of little twists at that end as well, and you just twist the rest away. So we like this. One thing to remember and try and make sure that you do, sometimes I don't always do this, is try and get the same length on each leg. It just helps, well, unless, again, if you want them to have one leg longer than the other, they can have one leg longer than the other if you like. But it helps with your, when you are manipulating them, it does make them a little bit easier to manipulate if they are symmetrical. So once we've done that, we're going to take our extra pipe cleaners. Hang on, let me find the right colours. So we're going to make the other sections to go onto our arms and our legs. Now, first thing we're going to do, and this is the only time that you need another piece of equipment here, is we're going to chop our pipe cleaner in half. So we just folded it in half and we just chopped it in half. And then we're going to feed the end through the loop that we've made. We're going to make another little loop on the end by just twisting it away, making a little loop, twisting it away. That's our knee joint there. Now, if you notice, what I've done here as well is I've made these loops facing forward for the puppet, and I've made this loop facing in the other direction, facing in the opposite direction, and that just means that you end up with a nice knee joint that moves. And then it's just a matter of folding it away and making what kind of foot you want. So you might want a really, really long foot like this, in which case you might leave quite a lot of it away. If you didn't want quite such a long foot, you might, again, just twist some of it away and then make a little foot at the end like that. What you can additionally do as well is you could add another piece and have a foot. So then you would have a knee and a foot that flex. And again, it's exactly the same thing with the hands as well, with the arms, the forearms. Chop in half, feed it through, make your loop. Again, I've made these ones facing forward and these ones on the angle. Just means you get a nice sort of this kind of movement. Obviously we know that our arms do move in lots of different ways, and what's the nice thing about these is you can really make whatever kind of hand you like for this one. So you can make it into a little mitt, or you could, I have had very clever people as well who have made little sort of fingers as well, so you could kind of make some little hands for it if you want to as well. Once you've, maybe like that, so once you've got a little 3 fingers there. Once you've twisted your pipe cleaner into place, it's pretty fine. It's fine to kind of cut it. It shouldn't come away because you've twisted it and you've put it into connection. Obviously, do be aware pipe cleaners have sharp ends, so do make, if you're working with any groups or when you're using them, just make sure that people are aware of that. Sometimes, and they have on these ones I think that I've got, sometimes you'll find that people have already folded away the ends, so when you purchase them, you might find that the ends have already been folded away just to make them a little bit softer, or you might want to do that. And yeah, the other great fun thing that I've done with these is making accessories. So you can use other materials to make some accessories. So you might use fabric or plasticine that's quite weighty. So you just need to consider how the puppet's going to move. So things like plasticine shoes are really good because they help the puppet to be able to stand and move, and you can hold them in position. But lots of people have used pipe cleaners generally to make things like hats and glasses, and again at the end of the video I'll show you some pictures of all those kind of things. So yeah, I hope that's useful and you enjoy making some pipe cleaner puppets. Thank you very much.